Hari Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. So last time we stopped at Agnimitra and Malavika. They have got an ekanta now, right? And Bakulavalika and Vidusha have left them in their private space and gone out. And Raja is, Agnimitra is trying to make all advances to her, and how Malavika bashfully, coyly, shyly, she escapes all the things. So there is a beautiful verse describing all her actions, So Raja Atmagatam, first of all, he says that Chiram anuraktoyam janaha anugrihatam iti saushlesham abhinayati. He acts as if to embrace her, and Malavika natyena pariharati. She escapes that. Then the king describes, it is not the king, it is Kalidasa, describing the shyness, the coyness of the Mugdha Nayika. And such verses you find abundantly in Amaru Shataka. Amaru Shataka is a collection of 100 and odd poems, all based on Shungara Rasa, Rasaraja Shungara. So there you can have Nayaka Arabdha Shungara as well as Nayika Arabdha Shungara. So this verse can go very well in such a Amaru Shataka type of work. But Kalidasa, being, a poet who masters all the rasas, so no wonder he has described and depicted it in such a beautiful manner. Hastam kampayate, kampavati or kampayate. Kampayate I feel is good because all others are actions here. So hastam kampavati instead of that, hastam kampayate runadhi rashana vyapara lolangulim hastau svau nayati stana varanatam alingyamana balat patum pakshmala chakshurunnamayataha sachi karoti atman ananam vyajenapi abhilasha purana sukham nirvartayatyeva me. So Malavika is trying to avoid the king in how many actions. This is the typical Shrungarik moment, and Mugdha Nayika, how she would try to escape and evade all the advances of her lover. Hastam kampayate runadhi, hastam kampayate, she is trembling, or kampavati if you take, then she is trembling because sasadvasa. She is nervous, right? And therefore, hastam kampayate, she is trembling and obstructs Agnimitra. Please don't come forward like that, okay? Runadhi, Rashana Vyapara Lolangulim, she is obstructing his finger, which is trying to play with her Rashana, with her Mekhala or the girdle. Hastau svau nayati stana varanatam, she tries to cover her breast with both of her hands. When Agnimitra tries to embrace her, alingyamana balat. Patum pakshmala chakshurunnamayataha sachi karoti ananam, when he tries to lift her face little bit to kiss it, she goes tiriyak sachi karoti, she goes tiriyak dharayati ananam, she goes crossways, vyajenapi. So in these various methods, she is trying to avoid me. But then all her actions are so graceful, so charming. They add more charm to her and they increase my love for her. Vyajenapi abhilasha purana sukham nirvartayatyeva me. So my abhilasha, my my desire, my longing to have her in Ekanta. Though she is not, allowing me to do anything, neither to embrace her, not to kiss her, not to play with her clothes and this and that. She is not allowing me to do anything. And yet, as if she is satisfying me by all these actions of hers, which are very charming. A very beautiful verse, Kavyalinga Alankara, Deepaka Alankara. Last time we were thinking, and some of you like Raji, Radhaji and others, they did the exercise also. But then I thought that maybe I would arrange a lecture of an expert in Alankara Shastra to elucidate on what are the demarcation lines between such alankaras, like there is Drishtanta, there is Prativastupama, there is Deepaka, there is Nidarshana. At least these four I find very similar, and the thing is, I could tell you in short, Nidarshana, Ni plus Drisha plus Nich, this is a Nijanta Prayoga, and this is Abhavan Vastu Sambandhaha. Abhavan Vastu Sambandhaha, Upama Parikalpakaha. It is based on Upama. So, as I think Bharata in his Natya Shastra or somebody says, Upama is Shailushi, she is a nati. Upama, she is a Shailushi, she is a nati. She takes various roles. As a nati would take, a character would take different roles and act. Similarly, Upama takes different roles. Sometimes she is mere Upama. Sometimes when it is poetically fancied, it becomes Utpreksha, right? When it is Abhavan Vastu Sambandhaha, it becomes Nidarshana. For example, when Kalidasa says, Kva Surya Prabhavo Vanshaha, Kvachalpame Vishayamatihi, Titirshuhu Dustaram Mohad Udupe Nasmi Sagaram, right? So I am like, I am desiring to cross over an entire ocean with a small boat. While I am going to describe the Raghuvansha, Kva Surya Prabhavo Vanshaha, Kvachalpa Vishayame Matihi. My Mati is Alpa Vishaya. And this Raghu dynasty is coming from Surya, Ikshvaku and all that. Such a lofty, glorious parampara they have. Describing these Raghu kings is like what? Crossing ocean, unfathomable ocean with a small boat, right? So that is Nidarshana. Then Drishtanta, we have come across so many Drishtantas. Drishtasya, that is Prakritasya Vastunaha Antaha Nama Nishchayaha. That is called Drishtanta. This is exemplification. So, Udaharanena Antaha. Whatever you have seen, you give an illustration to that and exemplify it, elucidate it more. That is Drishtanta. And Prativastupama, Drishtanta is based on Bimba Pratibimba Bhava. Somebody had given it last time, I saw in your notes. So there are so many such, and Deepaka is also like a lamp. There is a Deepaka Alankara here in this verse. So all her Shringara Cheshta, I mean she is trying to avoid all that, but that they indicate her deep love, passion for Agnimitra, right? So through various actions, all these things are given. And so this is a very beautiful verse. And Kalidasa, like other poets, all Sanskrit poets I mean, because these are the dramas which are staged, which are enacted, and therefore you have to keep the decorum. You can't show any intimate scenes like we now see so many intimate scenes in serials and movies and this and that. There is no decency left. There is much charm and much Shrungara in the suggestion than in the expression. But nowadays we don't follow that. But Kalidasa never ever crosses the boundaries. Though they are all alone, nobody is there to look at them, yet Kalidasa has maintained that decency and that decorum, and that adds more charm to the entire situation. Now we have a very long prose passages. I will hurriedly read it because there is not much to explain. Kalidasa's language is so simple. We are now encountering another scene here where Iravati will come up with her Nipunika, with her Dasi, because they have been informed by that Kaumudika, if you remember, Kumbhilakaihi Kamukaischa Pariharaniya Chandrika, not Kaumudika, Chandrika, another maid of Iravati. She happened to see Vidushaka there, so she has quickly gone and reported it to Iravati. So Iravati with her intimate friend and Sakhi Nipunika, they come on the scene now. Tatah pravishati Iravati Nipunikacha. Hanje Nipunike Satyam tvam parigatartha chandrikaya samudra alinde shayitaha ekaki arya gautamaha drishtaha iti. Are you telling me the truth that Chandrika told you Samudra Griha Alinde, on the veranda of Samudra Griha, that lake palace, she saw Arya Gautama sleeping? Anyatha katham bhattinyai vidyapayami. Tenahi tatraiva gacchavaha संशयात् मुक्तम आर्यपुत्रस्य प्रियवयस्यं प्रष्टुं च. You know, they all know that Arya Gautama had that snake bite and he was treated by Dhruva Siddhi. So the very thing that he is sleeping on the veranda, that means he is cured of his snake bite and all that. So samshayad muktasya aryaputrasya priyavayasyam prashtum cha, and something to ask. Savasheshamiva bhattinyaha vachanam. You want to say something else? This is incomplete. Chitragatam aryaputram prasadayitam cha. You remember in the third act, the king had fallen at her feet, and disregarding the king's salutations, she just went away hurriedly. So that doesn't behove a married Arya Stri, right? So now she is repenting. Oh, the king fell at my feet and I didn't even forgive him. I didn't even talk anything to him. I just left. So, Chitragatam Aryaputram Prasadayitam cha. We have already seen in the beginning that Malavika is looking at the life-size portrait hung in the Chitragriha, in the Samudra Griha. So there must be beautiful paintings there. So she can't see him directly. Nipunika will ask her, why not you do it in person? And the answer is very clear, you know. She says, Atha kathamidanim bharta eva na prasadyate, Nipunika asks. Mugdhe yadrishaha chitragataha tadrishaha eva anya sankranta hridaya aryaputraha idanim. Now I don't see any difference between Chitragata Aryaputra and Pratyaksha Aryaputra, because he has given his heart to somebody else. So what is the use of seeing him in person? It is as good as seeing him in a chitra. Tarhi kevalam upachara atikramam pramarjayitum ayam arambha. Only thing is, I did not fulfill my duty, upachara, that, you know, when the king is lying flat at my feet, I should have at least, you know, told him, sorry, you should not do like that, you know. So this is only upachara I am going to do. Ita ito bhattini ubhay parikramataha pravishya. Now while they are about to enter the Samudra Griha, on the way they are caught by a cheti who is Nagarika coming from Dharini, okay. And this is one more, you know, what you can say, an indication saying that Dharini doesn't entertain any ill will in her mind regarding Malavika. Why she has put Malavika and Bakulavalika in that underground cell? It is only to please Iravati. She didn't do it on her own, right? And therefore she has sent now Cheti, Nagarika. She comes and says, Jayatu Bhattini Devi Bhanati Name Matsarasya Kalaha Tava Khalu Bahumanam Vardhayitum Vayasya Saha Nigada Bandhane Krita Malavika. I don't have any envy, any malice against Malavika. It is only for you that I kept her, my heart really aches at that thought that I shouldn't have put both these girls in the underground cell. So, tava khalu bahumanam vardhayitum vayasya yasaha nigadabandhane krita Malavika yadi anumanyase aryaputrasya priyam karatum tatha karami. If you allow me to do what Aryaputra really wants to marry Malavika. As a chief queen, I can read that and I want to do all good to him. So, if you allow me to do, then I would go ahead. Yattava ishtam tanme bhanaiti. So, Dharini is all ready to get Malavika and Agnimitra married. She is not proceeding just to keep the mind of Iravati. So, she is asking the permission of Iravati. You can easily compare and contrast these two queens of Agnimitra, They are very like what you can say opposite characteristics they have. Nagarike Vidnyapaya Devim Kavayam Bhattinim Niyojayatum. Who am I? Who are we? Who हम होते ही कौन है भट्टिनी को कुछ कहने वाले, है ना? So whatever she wants, she is the chief queen. Let her go ahead and do it. का वयम भट्टिनीं विनियोजयितुं परिजन निगडनेन दर्शितो मयि अनुग्रहः. You already favored me, that you care for me, right? So that you already done. कस्य वा अन्यस्य प्रसादेन अयं जनः वर्धते. Ayam Janaha, referring to herself. I am here just because of you. Kasyava anyasya prasadena. Who else is there to favor me here in this entire campus, in this entire Rajakula? It's only you, because of whom I am living such a wonderful life. So, you go and whatever she wants to do, let her do it. I don't have to say anything. I don't have objection, she doesn't say. Okay, but I don't have to say anything. Whatever you want to do, you may go ahead. Tatha iti nishkaranta. So, Dharini's magnanimity is she waits for Iravati's approval before she does good for Agnimitra. Nipunika parikramya avalokya. Now they are coming near the Samudragriha. Bhattini esha dvaradeshe Samudragrihasya Samudragrihasya dvaradeshe vipanigatah iva balivardah Aryagautamah asina eva nidrayate. He is sleeping while sitting. Asinaha eva nidrayate. Like what? Vipanigatah balivardah. Like a balivarda, like a mighty bull in the midst of a marketplace. Vipanigatah. Now also we see in the marketplace, sometimes the cattle are roaming around loosely, and they are what you can say, what do you call it? Rasta roko wale. They are the ones who, who obstruct you and don't allow you to go, right? So they are sitting, the cattle are sitting freely, roaming and sitting in the midst of the marketplace. In Kalidasa's time also it was the same. So, Vipanigataha Balivardaha, who? This Vidushaka. So, Vidushaka is compared with a Balivarda who is sleeping there, ruminating the grass in his in the mouth. You can imagine the Balivarda seated in the midst of the marketplace, ruminating the grass and like sleeping there. So, this Vidushaka is also sleeping. Iravati Atyahitam. Now, Iravati, no person is bad that way. Iravati may be sarcastic, but she has that love and that kindness for everybody. It is the general, what you can say, general principle that all people are good. You have to explore the goodness from them. The prasangopat, as the situation demands, you can be sarcastic and you may be taunting, but no person is bad. So, Iravati is also not bad. Atyahitam, she really is concerned about him. Oh, we just heard that, he survived that snake bite. Is that effect still lingering? न खलु स अवशेषः विषविकारो भवेत्. The vishavikara, sa avashesha, is that effect still there? Nipunika says, prasanna mukhavarnaha drishyate. No, there is no sign of, trauma or agony or pain or anything that he has undergone. Prasanna mukhavarnaha drishyate. Secondly, apicha dhruvasiddhina chikitsitaha. He is treated by dhruvasiddhi. Tadasya ashankaniyam papam. So, savasheshena vishavegena bhavitavyam. This shanka should be left aside. Now, Vidushaka there, he is dozing off. Utsvapnayate. In the dream, he is talking something. Bhavati Malavike. Bhavati Malavike. Shrutam Bhattinya. Nipunika says, Kasya esha atmaninaha hatashaha kitavaha. Sarvakalam itaeva swastivachana modakaihi kukshim purayitva sampratam malavikam utsvapnayate. He eats all the sweet meats, modaka, etc., which he gets from you, from the other queen. Kukshim purayitva. He fills his belly, and in the dream he thinks not of you people. Malavika, see, she is pumping. Okay, triggering her anger all the more, adding fuel to the fire. And what? His sentence is incomplete. Bhavati Malavike. What he says? Iravatim atikramanti bhava. You be one who can surpass Iravati. Iravatim atikramanti bhava. Etadattyahitam. Imam bhujanga bhirukam brahma bandhum anena bhujanga kutilena dandakasthena stambhantarita bhayayishyami. Nipunika said this is not good, okay? Because it is a clear insult of her Bhattini, her mistress, Iravati. So she says stambhantarita, hiding behind the pillar, one of the pillars. I will put this, I will throw this bhujanga kutila dandakashtha. A dandakashtha stick, which is kutila, which looks like a sarpa, adhyasa. Sarpova, rajjuriyam va, sarpova, okay. So this is not rajju, this is dandakashtha, okay. So bhujanga kutilena dandakasthena bhujanga bhirukam brahma bandhum. He is already afraid of snake. He has enacted that he had a snake bite, right? So now I will frighten him by putting that dandakashtha, throwing that dandakashtha on him. Arhati eva kritagnaha upadravasya. This, this ungrateful person, he deserves such a torturing, such a trouble. Nipunika vidushakasya upari dandakashtham patayati. Sahasa prabudhya avidha bho vayasya sarpo me upari patitaha. Oh vayasya, oh friend, please come forward. Run. Sarpo me upari patitaha. Raja sahasa upasritya sakhe na bhetavyam. See, now one by one Raja has come. Now Malavika will come. From there Bakulavalika come. And Iravati is here. Aag babula ho rahi hai, boiling with anger. And she catches them all red-handed second time. Right? Raja sahasa upasritya sakhe na bhetavyam. Malavika after him anusritya bhartaha matavat sahasa nishkrama sarpa iti bhanyate. Oh, he is calling snake. You will get bitten by snake. No. Iravati. Hadik. Bharta itaeva dhavati. He is also coming this side. Vidushaka saprahasam. He sees that first, something falls on you suddenly. Even if it's a dry garland, you feel it's a sarpa. Because the cold touch of that, right? And the shape, the size, everything. And when something falls suddenly, then you feel it's a sarpa. So he also got it as sarpa. But now, katham dandakashtametat. Oh, dandakashta. Aham punarjane. Now he confesses how he acted that he was bitten by snake. There was no need, but then everybody should know, right? अहं पुनर्जाने यन्मया केतकी कंटकैः दंशं कृत्वा सर्पस्यैव दंशः कृतः तन्मे फलितमिति. I thought I am repaid for what cheating I did. What did I do? The cheating was that ketaki kantakena damsham kritva, and I showed it as, ete dve damsha chinne iti. So I thought I got repaid for that. Pravishya patakshepena. Patakshepa is pata is yavanika, is a curtain, and when there is a patra, any character, suddenly, all of a sudden, asamsuchitam patram, okay? There is no suchana, and when the patra wants to come, it is tossing the curtain, the patra will enter. It will be in the cases of war, in the cases of unprecedented circumstances or hastiness, okay? प्रविश्य पटाक्षेपेण मा तावत् भर्ता प्रविशतु इह कुटिलगतिः सर्पः इव दृश्यते. शी ऑल्सो मिस्टेक्स दैट दंडकाष्ठ कुटिलगति एज सर्प. इह कुटिलगतिः सर्पः इव दृश्यते. इरावती स्तंभांतरिता राजानम उपेत्य. नाउ शी हैज सीन all four of them, Malavika, Agnimitra, this one, Bakulavalika and Vidushaka, all the party of Agnimitra, right? And she is in the another party. Iravati sa rajanam upetya api nirvighna manoratho diva sanketo mithunasya. The day meeting, diva sanketaha, of this pair, the new pair, nirvighna manoratha, was it without any obstacle? Sarve iravatin drishta sambhrantaha. Drishtva sambhrantaha. Naturally, nobody expected her. Priye apurvoyam upacharaha. The king, his own composure. Priye, what sort of this, very unique type of greeting? You are greeting me not like, Vijayatam Deva, Vijayatam Aryaputra. What is this? Apurvoyam upacharaha. Iravati is not at all in a mood to answer him. Ek ka samachar lena hai, right? Everybody she wants to, slash. So, Bakulavalike, Dishtya Dutti Adhikara Vishaya Sampurnate Pratidnya. So, you are the Kamaduti, right? So, now your Pratidnya is fulfilled. You accomplished your task. Bakulavalika says, Prasidatu Bhattini. Kim nu khalu dardura vyaharanti iti devaha prithivim vismarati. What a beautiful sentence. Beautiful sentence. She says, Devaha, that is Indra Devaha, Prithivim Vismarati. Prithivi is earth. Will Indra forget the mother earth just because the Dardura, the frogs are croaking loudly? So here, Devaha is Agnimitraha, Prithivi is Queen Iravati. So he loves you even now. You are his wedded wife, and we are just frogs. We are jumping here and there. We haven't got any status. Malavika hasn't yet obtained that status of being his queen, right? So, Darduraha vyaharanti iti kim devaha prithivim vismrati. He will never forget you. So, this is like consoling Iravati, okay? Vidushaka also says, Matavat bhavatya darshana matrena atra bhavan pranipata langhanam vismritaha. Darshana matrena atra bhavan pranipata langhanam vismritaha. Atra bhavata vismritam, it should have been. So, by seeing you, the king could have entertained that feeling in his mind that in the last act, you did not even pay any heed to him. So, he should have been cross with you. He should have been angry with you that, despite his all requests and pleadings, you didn't care for him. But still, forgetting all that, pranipata langhanam, tvayakritam pranipata langhanam, all that he forgot, and he is greeting you like priye and all. And why are you angry? Bhavati punaha adyapi prasadam na grinnati. And you are the one who is still not being pleased with him. Kupita idani maham kim karishyami. She says, though I am angry, what will I do now? Because last time I was angry, but मेरी कुछ चली नहीं उसके सामने, राइट, राजा के सामने. What will I do? What do I have in my hand? Nothing is there in my hand. Raja says, asthane kopaha iti anupapannam tvai tathahi. Iravati, she has been very what you can say, throwing tantrums these days. She was never so ever before. So, asthane kopaha, you never had anger without any reason. Kada mukham varatanu karanadrite tathagatam kshanamapi kopapatratam aparvani graha kalushendu mandala vibhavari kathaya katham bhavishyati. So he says, your face never has been a seat of anger. Kopapatrata kada agatam tava ananam. Kopapatratam kada agatam, and that too without a reason. If there is a solid reason, a strong reason, and you get angry with me, I will understand. But there is no strong reason. And he says, there again a drishtanta is given. Again, a drishtanta. He says that Vibhavari, that is night, Vibhati nakshatradibhihi, visheshena bhati nakshatradibhihi iti vibhanam vari. So the best of the starlit nights, right? Starlit night. So Vibhavari, aparvani, without having the parva season. Parva here has to be Paurnima. Parva could be Paurnima and Amavasya. Okay? Parva are the special occasions, Paurnima and Amavasya. But the Chandramandala will get eclipsed only on the Paurnamasi, right? And therefore Parva here means Paurnami. So Aparvani Graha Kalusha Indu Mandala Vibhavari Katham Bhavishyati. How Vibhavari will be Graha Kalusha Indu Mandala. Grahena, Nama Rahu Grahena. Kalushitam Indoho Mandalam Yasyam Ratriam Tadrishi Ratrihi Vibhavari Kathaya Katham Bhavishyati. Kathaya Katham Bhavishyati. There is a Anuprasa as well, and this is Drishtanta. So you are like a Vibhavari and you are angry with me. So your face is like moon being eclipsed, like that your face has become. But for Vibhavari, she needs one parva for that, some karana. Here there is no karana. So why are you so angry with me? Why is your beautiful face knitted with anger? Your eyebrows are knitted with anger. And why are you so angry with me? Asthane iti sushtu vyahritam aryaputrena anya sankranteshu asmakam bhagadeyeshu yadi punaha kupyeyam tato hasya upahasya bhaveyam. Rightly you said asthane. I know, because whatever though I am angry, there is no reason, because anger, if it has really, your anger is cared by somebody pays any heed to your anger and behaves accordingly, then the anger is justified. My anger is as it is, not justified. Why? Anya sankranteshu asmakam bhagadeyeshu. Whatever favor I enjoyed so far, now all that has been transferred to somebody else, Malavika. So, Anya Sankranteshu Asmakam Bhagadeyeshu, and therefore my anger is not justified at all. And if I become angry again, Yadi Punaha Kupyeyam, Tarhi Hasya Bhaveyam, I will be Upahasyatam Gamishyami Ityarthaha. Everybody will mock at me. Oh, she has come, she just, barged into it, and then she was angry and sarcastically she taunted everybody and went away. So nobody will care for my anger, because who cares for me now? The love which was there once upon a time, that is no more there. It's already transferred to Malavika. Raja still very calmly, Tvam anyatha kalpayasi. Aham punaha satyameva kopasthanam na pashyami. Kutaha? and he gives that reason which Vidushaka had given to the keeper of the Samudra Griha. Who was she? Nagarika, Madhukarika, whosoever. So, what was the reason he gave? That the astrologers have talked about the ill stars of Agnimitra, and therefore Sarva Bandhana Mokshaha Kriyatam iti, right? And therefore these two should be released. And why he was sent? Because Dharini had put these two girls in the underground cell to keep the mind of Iravati. If she sends somebody from her maid servants, Iravati will think it wrong. If Agnimitra were to release, then it's okay. And therefore, this was all the given. So he takes help from that and says, Na arhati kritaparadhaha api utsava divaseshu parijano bandham. Kritaparadhaha api parijanaha utsava divaseshu bandham na arhati. Very simple sentence. Though the parijana, the servants, the maid servants have done some aparadha, kritaparadhaha api parijanaha. If it is a utsava divasa, when all the prisoners are released, they also got released, right? So, bandham na arhati utsava divaseshu. Iti, with this, only with this thought, iti mochite maya ete, therefore I released these two girls, and therefore pranipatitum mam upagatecha, and they have come here to salute me. That is the only reason. They were here in the underground cell of Samudra Griha. I came to release them, and they just saluted me. This is the whole situation. Why don't you understand, my darling? So that is what king tells her. Iravati tells Nipunika, her bosom friend and Sakhi, Nipunike, Gacha devim vidnyapaya, drishto bhavatyaha pakshapataha nanu adyaiti. I have witnessed your pakshapata, your partiality. You apparently say that you are doing all the things to keep my mind, to keep my, and care for my feelings, but inwardly you are also party to that. So, drishtaha adyatava pakshapataha iti nanu devim vidnyapaya, Nipunika goes. Vidushakaha atmagatam. Now that means, see, earlier in the third act, when Iravati complained to Dharini, Malavika was put in the underground cell. Now this is the second time Iravati has caught them red-handed, and again second time she is complaining to Dharini. What will befall that poor Malavika, right? Aho atmagatam, aho anarthaha sampatitaha, bandhana bhrashtaha grihakapotaha, chillayaha mukhe patitaha. Chilla is a kite, ghar, Marathi made, ghar, chilla, kite. Very, what you can say, far-sighted and vengeful, revenging attitude. So this grihakapotaha, the house pigeon which was caged, a pet pigeon like Shukasarika, this Paravata, this pigeon, grihakapotaha, bandhana bhrashtaha, it was released from the cage, but it was seen by a kite. So the kite will pounce upon it. So the kapota is, as it is a very like bechara type of pakshi, bechara kabutar, So this is bechari, this Malavika is so poor thing, Dina, Varaki, and now she has been pounced again by Iravati. Iravati is compared here with Chilla, red eyes with anger and pouncing attitude, both. Some editions they have Bidalikayaha aloke patitaha, grihakapotaha. This pigeon, the pet pigeon, has been seen by Bidalika, by a cat. Cat, this is also good version, because cat will, dabe pav aayegi, and she will like daba dharun bashne, and then pounce. Similarly, this Iravati was there, stambhantarita. She was waiting for the right moment and then she came forward. So both versions are good enough. Okay? Grihakapotaha bidalikayaha aloke patitaha. It fell in the sight, in the purview of the sight of the cat, or chillayaha mukhe patitaha. Pravishya Nipunika says, Apavarya, to only the queen, Bhattini yadricha drishtaya madhavikaya akyatam. While she went to Dharini, Madhavika, another maid servant, she met her on the way. Evam khalu etat nirvrittam iti karane kathayati. How the whole episode of Vidushaka's snake bite and all. Iravati was not there, if you remember. It was Dharini is sitting with Parivrajika. Dharini is being entertained by Parivrajika with some stories, and king goes to inquire about her, Rujakrantam Charanam Prashtum, and that is when this whole thing happens. So Iravati was not there. So Madhavika, Aise hua, and all these, harem girls, the young girls, they have a habit of backbiting and telling, what happened? This is what happened. Don't tell anybody. And this is how the news will spread from, Shatkarano Vidyate Mantraha, right? So, iti karane kathayati. So, she tells everything to Iravati. Then Iravati Atmagatam Satyam Ayamatra Brahmabandhuna Kritaha Prayoga. So, it all got accomplished by this Brahmabandhu. Brahmabandhu is a sarcastic remark. It is basically Brahmanaha Bandhuhu. But she doesn't mean it in that sense that he is the relative of a Brahmana. He himself is a Brahmana. Vidushaka has to be a Brahmana, right? But Brahmabandhu here comes as a slang word. Like many times in Shankaracharya's Bhashya, for example, Devanam Priya. Devanam Priya is basically the favorite of the gods. But when it comes in the Bhashya, it is, exactly opposite. Vam khalu devanam priyaha. So this is like, how you utter it with a modulation in your voice, and the meaning changes altogether. So this is all just, the kakuhu namadhvanehe vikaraha. With kaku in your swara, you have to pronounce it while acting. I am Brahmabandhu. Not Brahmabandhu is the Brahmana's relative, okay? He is a Brahmana by birth, but he doesn't know anything of a Brahmanical tradition, and that is true. So, ayamatra Brahmabandhuna kritah prayogaha vidushakam vilokya prakasham. So, he is the culprit, right? I am angry with Agnimitra, but he is the brain behind Agnimitra, right? He did all this. So, iyam asya kama sachivasya, kama tantra sachivasya niti. So, this is the policy of this minister, who is the external affairs minister. Kama Tantra Sachiva, okay? His love affairs. Vidushaka pleads innocence from his side and says, Bhavati, yadi nitehe ekamapi aksharam patheyam tada gayatrim-api vismareyam. Now, being a Brahmana, nyunati nyunam, the minimum a person needs to know is the Gayatri Mantra, right? And this person knows only that. No, in the Avimaraka Nataka of Bhasa Kavi has written a Nataka Avimaraka, and there Vidushaka he can't even read. And then he says Ramayanam Nama Kavyam, something like that. And when somebody asks him that Kurangi is the this one Rajakanya and all that, and somebody that Cheti asks him, what is these letters written on the ring? You are wearing the ring and all that. Then he says, no, etad aksharam mama pustake nasti. Etad aksharam mama pustake nasti. He can't read even, So that is just to create humor. Bhasa is bhaso hasaha, kavi kula guruhu kalidaso vilasaha, right? So Bhasa produces such laughters. Etadaksharam mama pustake nasti. What is this? So here now he says, if I knew, you are telling policy, bilicy. What I know of policy. If I had known that much, if I was that clever, then so many things I could have achieved. But then here he says only apparently, there is another pathabheda here, that if I were so expert in the policy, why would I have brought Agnimitra here? I could have arranged their meeting place somewhere else, beyond your eyes. So, I am not, he is innocent. I don't know anything, It just happened like that. Bhavati yadi nitehe ekamapi aksharam patheyam tada gayatrim api vismareyam. That means I have not done anything. Mujhe kuch nahi malum. Raja Atmagatam. Now this is all, this will go on and on. How much time? It has to stop, right? Katham nu khalu asmat sankatat atmanam mochayishyami. How will I save myself from this, right? Pravishya savegam. Deva Kumari Vasulakshmihi Kandukam Anudhavanti Pingalavanarena Balavat Rasita Ankanishanna Devyaha Pravata Kisalayamiva Vepamana Na Kimapi Prakritim Pratipadyate. Jayasena comes, the Pratihari comes running where the king is. And because Jayasena knows, Jayasene Samudra Griham, Pramadavana Margam, Adisha, Gudha Margena, etc. So Jayasena knows exactly where to find the king, right? So she comes running and tells him that his young daughter, Vasulakshmi, we have come across Vasulakshmi in the first act. When the king was asking, in the portrait, Keyam Dharinyaha Parshve, and Dharini, neglected his question, but it was Vasulakshmi who answered Malavika Esha, so at least he could know the name. So that Vasulakshmi, young daughter. So she was playing with a ball, Kandukam Anudhavanti, and while playing in that garden, Pingala Vanara, a brown Vanara, Kapi, came there and frightened her, and Balavatrasita, she is so tortured, she is in panic, and Devyaha Ankanishanna, she is resting on the lap of the Queen Dharini, but Pravata Kisalayamiva, as a tender foliage, will shake vigorously in a stormy wind. Similarly, her whole body is trembling, and na kimapi prakritim pratipadyate, she is not gaining consciousness. She is lying in the lap of Devi Dharini, unconscious. Vepamana, trembling. Kashtam, Kataro Balabhavaha, Iravati, again the goodness in her heart. Savegam, Tvaratam Arya Putraha, Enam Samashvasaitum. Please, you have to rush to bring her back to her consciousness. Ma Asyaha Santrasa Janitaha Vikaraha Vardhatam. Her vikara should not get increased, She is such a small girl. So, Jayasena, Ayam Enam Saudnyapayami. Okay, let me go and welcome her or greet her, bring her back to her senses. Iti Satvaram Parikramati. Vidushaka, thank God. Oh, thank Pingalavanara, you saved me. Otherwise, who would have saved king in such a difficult situation? Somebody has to come, no? Atmagatam sadhure Pingalavanara sadhu paritrataha tvaya sankatat swapakshaha. Swapakshaha, your own party. Vidushaka belongs to the party of Vanara. He is, in Vikramorvashiyam also, he is talked as a Shakhamriga. Because there is Kapeyatva in Vidushaka. Kapeyatva, Chanchalatva. As the kapi would jump from one tree to another and just play from the branches, make them swings and do anything, any pranks without any prayojana, without any hetu. That is the Chanchalya. Vidushaka is like that. So that is Kapeyatva or Chanchalya. So he calls himself as, Vidushaka's character is again very noteworthy in Sanskrit dramas, that he doesn't hesitate to make a mockery of himself. He doesn't hesitate to do that, he mocks at himself also. Not only he doesn't wait for others to mock at him, he himself mocks at himself. Okay, so he calls himself as Vanara. Sadhu sankatat trataha swapakshaha sadhure pingala Vanara sadhu. Nishkrantaha savayasyaha raja iravati nipunika pratihari. All go. Iravati also goes, Raja goes, Vidushaka goes, everybody goes. Only Bakulavalika and Malavika are there. And now she is little bit angry. Griha kapotaha, chillayaha, mukhe patitaha. That is her situation. Second time now Iravati has caught her. And what is the escape? How she will explain all her situation? Sakhi, devim chintayitva vepate me hridayam. Malavika says, न जाने अतः परम किम वा अनुभवितव्यम भविष्यति. So far they have been asurya pashye and all that, not even a ray of sun, a ray of hope was there in that underground cell they were staying. And now what worse will be there in store for me? I don't know. Devyaha devim chintayitva vepate me hridayam. And on that situation, Kalidasa plays, in a very, what you can say, dramatic ironies and the ups and downs of the feelings and the emotions. This is all a play of emotion. What is drama? It is play of emotions, right? So, but he has no monotony in that. There is a break after every distressful, disappointment situation. There will be something which is coming up, like building hope for you and encouraging you. Nepatye aschariyam apurne eva pancharatre dohadasya mukulaihi sannadhaha tapaniya shokaha. The third act, Malavika had gently kicked the tapaniya shoka, and Queen Dharini has promised, if within 5 nights it flowers, I will fulfill your manoratha. And this is not only even the 5 nights. Apurne eva pancharatre. There have been buds. Mukulaihi sannadhaha tapaniya shokaha yavat devyai nivedayami. So this is the Madhukarika, I think, Pramadavana Palika. So she wants to go and report it to Queen Dharini because it is much awaited, what you can say, situation or a prasanga. Okay. Shrutva prahrishte. So both of them, at least that was the mission on which she was sent. At least that mission got accomplished. Shrutva prahrishte. I ashvasitu de sakhi satya pratidnya Devi. Bakulavalika consoles her that Devi is satya pratidnya, so please don't worry. She is worried, no? Devim chintayitva vepate me hridayam. So satya pratidnya Devi. Tena hi pramadavana palikayaha pushtataha bhavavaha tatha iti nishkrante iti chaturthaha ankaha. So this is the fourth act. That in the fourth act we saw Raja and Malavika, they are meeting for the first time, and how Vidushaka plays a prank, and due to which Raja, King Agnimitra and Malavika can have a secret meeting and all. And now before we come to the fifth act, there is a short interlude. Very short interlude is there. It is vishkambaka. It is Praveshaka. It is not Vishkambaka, it is Praveshaka. We saw about Praveshaka and Vishkambaka, I think, some time back. So when in between the two acts, there is an interlude, and if that interlude is purely in the Prakrit language, it is called Praveshaka. And when it is only in the Prakrit language, when only the maid servants and the servants, and those who speak Prakrit, it's a conversation between only such characters, then it is Praveshaka. If there is Sanskrit used somewhere, Sanskrit and Prakrit together, it is Mishra Vishkambaka. And if it is only Sanskrit, it is Shuddha Vishkambaka. And what is the purpose of Vishkambaka or Praveshaka? It is an interlude. So after the third act, and before the after the fourth act and before the fifth act, now we are going to the fifth act, what are the things which will be happening and what has taken place. Vritta Vartishya Mananam Kathanshanam Nidarshakaha. Vrittavartishyamananam kathanshanam nidarshakaha. So that is the Praveshaka or Vishkambaka. Vishkambaka can come even before the first act. But Praveshaka cannot come before the first act. Why? Because Praveshaka is purely in Prakrit. And the Sanskrit dramas cannot start with Prakrit. For this simple reason, प्रवेशक से शुरुआत नहीं होती नाटक की, विष्कंभक से हो सकती है, बिकॉज विष्कंभका हैज संस्कृत एज वेल. ओके, सो वी हैव अ डायलॉग बिटवीन टू पीपल. वन इज उद्यानपालिका, शी इज मधुकरिका, and another servant of Dharini who is a hunchback servant, and he is Sarasaka, and this is a dialogue between these two, and we get to know three important things. One we have already got in the Nepathya, Ashcharyam, that the Tapaniya Ashoka has put forth blossoms. Now this Madhukarika has made that as a festive occasion, because the queen and the king and everybody will come to see the Kusuma Lakshmi of Ashoka, and therefore she has completed what that Krita Satkara Vidhehe Tapa Vedika Bandha, the platform, ota, par, झाडाचा पार बांधून तयार आहे. So Vedika Bandha she has already done, and she is going to report it to queen so that queen and king can come and see. And then she sees Sarasaka. This is one thing. Sarasaka comes and tells her, Sarasaka is going with a box in his hand to somebody. So she is asking what is there in the box, and he says that there are some dakshina, and Queen Dharini is giving this dakshina every day. For what? For the welfare of her son Vasumitra. Why? Because Vasumitra is employed on the protection of the Ashwamedha Yajna, protection of the Ashwa of the Ashwamedha Yajna. Ashwamedha Yajna performed by Pushyamitra, the father of Agnimitra. So this is another document, another thing which we come to know, and we have already had a reference to that in the first act, that Senapati, Pushyamitra is called Senapati because he was the Senapati of the Mahanandas, the last king Brihadratha, and because they were all very inactive, passive and tyrant kings, he got the last king killed and made himself the coronation, and he became the king. And he gave the Vidisha kingdom as a capital to Agnimitra, and he was ruling somewhere in the northern side. He has performed an Ashwamedha Yajna, and a reference to that we find in Patanjali's Mahabhashya. Iha khalu Pushyamitram yajayamaha, Patanjali says in his Mahabhashya. So this must be as old as Patanjali. So Pushyamitra must have been before the 1st century BCE, and that means Agnimitra, who is his son, belonged to that period, and this is one of the reasons to decide the time of Kavi Kalidasa. Okay, so there are 2-3 theories we have seen in the first lecture perhaps, that there are 2-3 theories of Kalidasa, and this is one of the strong reason why Kalidasa can be put in the 1st or 2nd century BCE, because there is historical evidence, and Patanjali for sure belongs to the 1st century BC. So this is the second this thing, Vrittanta, which we hear, and the third Vrittanta is now Kalidasa is joining the loose ends and the dots, because this is the Nirvahana Sandhi, the last chapter, the last anka, and this thing is coming to an end, the play is coming to an end. So all the loose ends should be tied together in a sutra. So the first act started with the Vidarbharaja Vrittanta, right? The Vahataka reads out Vidarbharaja Vrittanta, Madhavasena is held and all that. So now again there comes the Vidarbharaja Vrittanta, that is the third vrittanta. So there are 3 vrittas which we know about from this Praveshaka. And I'm very happy to see you all here. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.